everyone, I am back again, and although I haven't got any pages planned, because I can't really, I was totally inspired by someone. Now, because I have no idea how this album's going to go together, I'm very good at, well, not very good, but I'm pretty good at planning pages and putting them together. But when I have things already made up and I have to stick everything down on the page, it's not my forte. So I've been watching a few videos and I was totally inspired by Rosa Kelly from Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking. And here's why. And everyone knows Rosa Kelly. If I remember, I will link where I got the idea from below. And like I said, I'm sure everyone has seen her before. If you haven't, go there, watch some of her videos. She's adorable for a start. Her family is the cutest, and she is totally inspirational. Her videos are fantastic. They're excellent quality. She explains things really well, and her ideas are brilliant. So anyway, I had some of my heavyweight cards. So I think it's 180 GSM or possibly 200 GSM, and I cut out 2 of these scalloped edged circles, and they are roughly, oh excuse me, roughly 4 inches in diameter. So I cut out 2 and I glued them together. Then I cut out a circle. Now I don't have a circle that matches this, so I had to kind of like just do it by hand, so it's not brilliant, but it's okay. And I stuck that on the back. Then I cut out another one ready to stick on the front, but I didn't stick it down. I mean, I did after I finished, but then I decided not to. Okay, then what you need to do is to figure out how far out you want this wheel, this cog wheel, to stick, which I did. So I measured it. I thought there'd be just enough room there that'll just stick out slightly, and from there, obviously you'll have the centre marked here, so from there where you've got it lined up, mark your hole, and then from where your hole is, choose a shape to cut out. Now if you use a circle, like a 1 inch circle or slightly over 1 inch, you can get 5 apertures. If you use squares, oh, excuse me, you could get 4 or 5 depending on what you use. If you use an oval, and this is the oval I used, I can get 3 apertures out of this. So I cut out my little oval here onto my page. Then, not sticking my top circle down, I put it all together just loosely. Now you don't have to do it this way, there is an easier way to do it. That easier way is you just glue this down. You don't glue it down. You glue down the paper and then cut out some craft paper of these, and every time the aperture comes around you stick it in. Stick in a piece of paper. I didn't want to do that because I wanted there to be a slight indentation where you can put the photograph. So what I did was I lined up my cogwheel so it's all together. I drew a circle and then I moved it round. Circle. It's not a circle, it's an oval, and traced another oval, and then moved it round and traced another oval, and I coloured them in just roughly so that I could see exactly where these ovals were. Then I took it apart and cut out all the ovals on that sheet of paper, so I've got the 3 holes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's all lined up, and it will be slightly off, I know that, but as in I'll be able to see it on the other side. But of course what I could do is, so I'm going to take all this apart, going to ink the underside. I've inked the edges already on the outside. I'm going to ink this side. So if it goes over, and I can see it slightly on the reverse side, I mean, if you'd rather not have any paper at all, or just use little ovals of patterned paper or anything, or you don't want paper on the back, then that's all fair and good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this together using my brad here, my split pin. Because I know that's lined up properly. And then I'm going to check around the outside to make sure that it's all going to sit nicely, and see if there's any particular piece that looks better than any other piece. You know, sort of like you've got to kind of like shush it around. It's like that would be no good because that's way too over on this side. Like I said, I don't cut very well. Squiggly lines I can cut really well, but offer me a straight line, it's not going to happen. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get. And that is exactly where I had already glued it and decided against gluing it. It is exactly there. So obviously that's what I want to do. So now I'm going to glue on the patterned paper. So it's been a really long day. I'm extremely tired, but I really wanted to get this done. Like I said, I saw it on Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking, so I've got a hair that keeps on going in front of my face. It's really annoying. And like I said, she totally and utterly inspired me, and I thought this was the coolest idea ever. I mean, she's got amazing cool ideas, but this one really did sing to me. Okay, so now that's all stuck on. I'm going to place my split pin back through the hole. Make sure there's no glue. So what I've also done is I've saved the little piece I cut out here, and I've written on the back photo template. So it's just got written. This is going to be terrible, isn't it? Okay, so it's got written on it photo template. And that will be put in the album so that people can use that as a template for their photographs. I might do one actually in slightly thicker what's the word, card. Okay, so now when this is on, when this is actually on the card and it's nice and stiff, you'll twist this and you can put a little photograph. Isn't that the coolest thing? Isn't that the most amazing thing? And like I said, Rosa Kelly, amazing, loved it, fell in love with it, couldn't resist to do it. And all it took was, I mean, when she did hers, she did it a lot more easily. And like I said, this is just my take on what she did, but it is basically what she did, but she makes it look 10 times easier. So I will try and link that back. So when you glue this on to the the album page, you can glue all of this. You cannot glue anywhere where this is going to touch it, because you really want this to be able to spin freely. You don't want to, so you just want to go round, and that's it, nothing else. What I think I might do is just go round the edge with the double-sided tape, and of course I will also glue it down when I'm ready to. I'm just astounded. I love the idea. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think she was making an Alice in Wonderland album at the time, and because I've done an Alice in Wonderland album, you know what it's like. You want to see, you know, how other people do, you know, what their take is on Alice in Wonderland and so on and so forth. So yeah, I had a quick look, and I hadn't actually really watched any of Rosa Kelly's album videos before, and I think after watching that now, my instant reaction is I've wasted a lot of time not watching her videos. Like I said, she is amazing, and this, wow, it's genius. Rosa Kelly, you are a genius. So that's the first part of page 1, but I am not going to stick it in yet because I'm not ready to. I've done all the strips that I said I was going to put in. Oh, that's the wrong one. They're all put in. But this will be going here, and I've cut the pages, the pattern paper, 10 3/4 by 8 to fit it in nicely here. So that's still going to go over just a bit, just enough to spin it round. I'm sorry, I'm just totally enamoured with it. I think it's amazing. I think as well, I said that the chipboard cover was 11 5/8 of an inch. I think it's more than that. I know it's 10 inches across with a 4-inch spine and then 10 inches, but it is actually 11 3/4 inches. So it's just under, it is just shy of 11 3/4 inches, and we're talking a smidgen. So slightly more than 11 5/8, which is why I've got this tiny gap top and bottom. So yeah, 11 3/4, just under. And I've inked around the edges slightly. I'm loving this tape. Like I said, I've used it before and it's been utter disaster, but it worked really well this time. The other thing I'm going to mention is I went through all my punches, and I found some. This one is called Diamond Fence Trim, and I got this incredibly cheaply. I think I paid about £8 for it, which I think is amazing value for money. It's brand new, and it's been stuck in a drawer and I've forgotten I had it, and you know, it's just lovely. And I thought I could either weave some ribbon through it for the album, or for instance I could layer it on top of some paper. That still looks really nice. I love it. I also went through all my punches to decide if I was going to have an edge punch on anything, and I decided on a punch rather than a die. And after going through everything, I decided that, okay, this is one of them. This was too flimsy. You see, this is my tester bit. So this was too flimsy. This really didn't come out as I hoped it to, and so I've gone back to this one. I do have the one with like the rickrack edge, which I think is the Aspen, and once again I I don't know what this punch set is called. I got it second hand. I've never seen it again. I just know it's not the Aspen, because the Aspen's got the rickrack edge and it's got like different, not just a row of snowflakes, it's got little snowflakes and stars. So I have no idea. No, the pattern number's on there, but not anything else. So I don't know what this is, but this is what I'll be using to punch edges and such like, and this for just pretty little stuff. I think it's beautiful. So I will get myself sorted for the rest of this page. I just had to get this done and show it to you because it's ingenious. She's a genius. And if you wanted to, of course, you could just put your little place photo here if that's what you want there, or I'll put anything there. So right, I'm going to go and get the next part of the page ready. I've got glue everywhere, and then I'll be right back, and I shall stop waffling now. So I am making this up as I go along. I am winging it. So I've cut this actually down. So the first thing I've got is one of these cards that I made, which I thought went really well with this paper. And I'm going to add a hinge to this side. I'll give you the measurements. It is roughly, if I get the ruler the right way round, 4 5/8 by 4.5. So it's 4 5/8 by 4.5. And the hinge I'm going to put on it has got a 1/8 of an inch gusset, just a tiny, tiny gusset. And then what did I do? So I've been looking through everything that I've got and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And in the end, it was just a matter of, yeah, I don't know, let's, you know, start playing. So these videos are going to be quite long because, like I said, I am playing. I'm not doing anything planned. I'm just totally winging it. So this is a completely new experience for me. I've never made an album like this before, as in this way. Right, this piece is 11. You could have it 11 by 8, and I scored it at 7.5. Now I'm going to put some tape here. It's like my allergies have been playing up terribly, so I apologise beforehand for the sniffing. So this bit here, let's release the tape backing on here. I'm going to put on the left hand side of my first page. So I am going to use some glue as well. Line this up. Okay, and this bit that I made with the wheel is going on top of here. And I've cut the papers 1/4 of an inch shorter than the base page. So I have a 1/8 of an inch gap all the way round. Okay, so So when I open this and I'm back onto my base space page, I'm going to take the take this little bit here that I've made, and there's nothing on the back of it, and I'm going to attach this, making sure that I'm not going to cover up that gusset, because we all know, don't we, ladies and gents, no matter where you might be, please leave your gussets free. And I'm just going to put some paper under there so I can see where the edge of my paper is. And then I am going to line this up along this edge. If you prefer, you can tuck it in. I don't like to tuck mine in. I like to keep mine I don't like that. Try again. I know I'm being a bit pedantic, but there we go. That's better, I think. Yep. And then I am going to put, no, I'm going to put 2 magnets in this because these are really thin and not very strong magnets. Though I do have some stronger ones somewhere. Do you ever have one of those days where you know that you've got something, you just don't know where it is? Okay, magnet box. Those, I've got some really strong magnets, but I just think they're too thick. These are 1 mil. Let's try these. These look pretty good, as do these. Yeah, if you have magnets about 1 mil thick, they tend to be stronger than the thinner ones. So let's put those back there for a second. Oh, that one's empty. Oh. Oh, I do have a few magnets left there. So yeah, I think I'm going to use these ones. Now these are 8 mil across and, let me remember this, 8 mil across and 1 mil thick, and I'm just going to put one, I do believe, up in this corner. Yes, I am. Gonna have one up in that corner. I do believe that's gonna go there. And then I think that should be enough to hold that down. I don't want to put too much down here because I don't want to cover up space that I might want to put a photograph on. Okay, let's try it the old way. Line this up, magnet down. Yep, that worked. Now then, do I want to put anything else on here before I carry on? Yes, I do. I would like to put on here a simple pocket, I think. And I might stick it straight down to the page. So I want something that will match. Too big. Let's see here. No. What did I do with all my other... I know they must be around somewhere. I think I'm going to make a pocket using... Let's pick a paper. I think it needs to be something red or something with a little white in the background. That might work. Maybe if I got the robin one with the... No, I haven't got any left on there. I want this paper. See. Oh, that's a small one, but that's okay. So I can make a pocket just to go here. I think that'll match with that. Maybe I should stick with this one. Oh no, too dense red. I'm going to make a pocket here anyway. Maybe I could have a corner pocket. No, that would look too odd. I need a square. I need a square to match this one. Oh, but I do have another one of those. So I could just make the pocket out of this. That would work, right? Simple straight to page pocket coming up. If I can find the end of my tape. Okay. So I am just going to go round the edges with tape. Put all my magnets to one side. Oh dear. And this side. Not forgetting along the bottom, because nobody likes anything falling out of their bottom. Take the tape backing off. Add some glue just over that tape, and I like to add the glue because if you don't, when you put tags in, they'll just get stuck on the double-sided sticky tape. So if you want to use just glue, that's fine as well. I would advise, unlike myself, that you don't add cat hair as well. Serves me right for leaving my door open overnight. And then I'm going to go right into the corner, but I'm going to leave a small, just a small border of pattern paper on the edge. Yes, that is what I'm doing. So I'm going to stick this piece down onto this smaller front flap. Once again, do not go too close to the wheel. So I want a 1/8 of an inch gap all the way around. I'm going to start getting really fussy about this, aren't I? And then I'm going to get myself really annoyed. Try that again. All you've got to do is stick this piece down. I don't know why I'm making such a big deal out of it. Okay, I did it. So now this bit should turn freely. Because you've got a flap here and this will open up. I'm going to have a pocket on this side. Possibly, because that is slightly bulky obviously, but it is bulky outwards rather than pushing inwards. So yeah, I think I'm going to have a pocket here and a waterfall here, and I also wanted maybe something here to match that. Oh no, I could just put tags in for now. Here's my little bits. Big. See, but I could have used that as a pocket there. Oh, it's a little booklet. Little booklet. Oh, I like that one. That would be cute. With the red around. Like it. That one's staying. But I think I might put just a little holder here so I can pop this in. But we'll see. I like that as well. Yay! I think that's the way I'm going. So I am going to get sorted out what I'm doing for the inside of this bit, and when I've got all the measurements ready, I'll be straight back. This is now the 6th time that I've tried to record this segment, and because I keep on either forgetting to turn my microphone on or I am forgetting to press record. So I've done quite a bit of the work. Now I'm going to make what I call a card waterfall. So that's a traditional waterfall. So I'm going to work on my decorative paper, not the base page. So my decorative paper is 10 3/4 inches by 8 inches. And I've taken a piece of A4 card and I've cut it at 3 3/4 inches. So this is 11 5/8 of an inch long. You don't need it that long. I just wanted a nice long piece. And at one end you score it at 1/2 inch intervals. So you score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches and 2 inches. So you want 4, more if you want, but I only wanted 4 score lines. And for each score line you need to make yourself a card that is the same width as this. So mine's 3 3/4 and I've decided to do mine 5 1/4 inches long. So these cards are 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, which will fit beautifully a small photograph. You make sure that all these score lines are folded and pressed and even and really sharp score lines. So you fold over the first score line. My paper ends here. Here's my first score line here. So I'm going to fold over that first score line. And then I attached the card that I'd made. And I put it down to the next score line. And making sure that everything is straight and neat and all in a line, I put on the next one. Now you don't want to go over the score line at all. And you put it down to the third one and you do the same again, up to the score line, not over it, and then the last score line. So what you'll have is this. Now I want to decorate this so you can see all these cards are attached to a score line. So basically when it's like this, when it's down the page like this, you pull it and it flips up, which is a traditional waterfall. So I'm going to decorate some of it before I attach it to my card. So I've glued down this piece. I also want a piece at the back because when this pulls down, some of it's going to show on the other side. So I'm going to glue, this is just what was left over from my decorating the front part, and this is all, like I said before, all my scraps. So I'm even using my scraps of my scraps. I'm going to place this bit to the bottom. So I keep on looking at my microphone now to make sure that it's not muted. There we go. And then I want to decorate each of these score lines in between each of those score lines. So I'm just going to put a small piece in between each one. I'm not very good at doing straight when I'm sat down because I can't see it properly. That's pretty good. Next one. I think this just finishes it off. You don't have to do it, but I think it does finish it off nicely. And then the next one. Making sure I'm still recording. I'm going to be paranoid about it now. And I mean, you don't have to do the last one. You can put it as one sheet of paper. I suppose I could do that actually. Ooh, I could do that. You think about that. I might decorate that as one large piece. We shall see, because it doesn't, there's no bend here. Okay. So I was going to have just what I would normally do as a waterfall here, but I think it would be too thick and I wanted something different, and this is, I think, is a better way of using up scraps, because I had lots of these cut out roughly this size. Next I have this piece, and I think this is just under 2 3/4 inches by 7 inches. Once again, another piece of scrap. And grab my ruler. Right, so this is 8 inches. So that needs to go about there for the centre, I think, slightly over. That would be good. I'm just lining this up to the centre. That's pretty good for me. I want to bring it down slightly. So it's roughly centred, top and bottom, side to side. Next, I'm going to place some tape on either side, right at the edge of my small scrap piece. And this is just to hold it temporarily, because I will be fixing brads onto it to keep it really well stuck down. So tape and glue. Okay, so when this is down, you want to slide this underneath and line it up with that bottom piece. So the bottom of your last bit here, and then stick it down. Okay, back to this part. On this last, the first waterfall bit that you put on, so the one that's at the very bottom, you want to open it up and put some tape on the edge here. Now, you can put as much tape or as little tape as you want, but you start at the bottom and you can't have any more tape than the thickness of this. And as I want mine to be quite secure, the more tape I have, to be honest, the better. So I'm going to put 3 strips slightly apart here. Next thing I want to do is to decorate this piece here. I said this was 7 inches, didn't I? How long is it? Give me all the wrong measurements again. 7.5 inches, and go, it's 7.5. So I've done this 7.25 by 2.5. Put all my scraps back there. Ink this up. Of course, it's already inked along the top, and then glue this on. Okay. Next I am going to put this bit on. So I'm going to line this up where I want it to be. Right, next I want to take off this tape here. Add my glue. Let's get this centered again. And then okay, all stuck down. Finally. Okay, so I'm going to have a little pull tab on here, and that should flip down nicely. If you want to stick it down fully to that bit, you can. I think that's going to be all right. What a palaver. Okay, so I want a little piece of ribbon here, so I'm going to make a hole and put a piece of ribbon in. I'm going to have these here, and they're all going to be the same. Because I think they're really sweet. You can put a little photograph in, or, you know, anything. So that's going to be the decoration on that bit, and then this bit needs to be let's have a look. We want to do this at that's the middle there. So let's take it in a bit, and I reckon about there for a brad. That would be good. So that went in at 3/8 of an inch, so 3/8 of an inch in. 1, 2, 3. Now I want to centre it. Where am I? I can't see the numbers. Okay, that's going to be the centre there. Okay, now I want a couple of brads, and I'm using these, well, I'm using up all the little bits of stash that I've got left over. So now I've got one left on that pack, and I've got one left on this pack. Pop these in. Oh, I made a right hash up of that again, didn't I? Okay, so they're nice and tight. Okay, got to put some tape over those. that is then ready to be stuck down. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. That will be stuck down there. Onto the open side of the front flap. The inner side of the front flap when it's open. And I'm just going to have a double pocket here. Now you can use one large pocket and cut an extra slit in it. You can stagger them any way you like. You can have one tall one, have it like this. Anyway, these are 8 1/4 inches across, and I've scored them each in at 3/8 of an inch so that they fit. Are they 8? Yes, because this is 7 and... oh, is that 7.5? Or... I can't remember. It is 7.5. And that's 8 1/4. Oh no, they've got... seven and a half, 8 1/4. They are 3/8 of an inch either side, because that is actually just under 7.5. So yeah, so it fits in the centre. And the larger pocket I'm going to have at 7 1/4 inches deep, and this one I'm going to have at 3.5 inches deep. So let's get this bit on, and then all I've got to do then is decorate the pocket. And as you can see, I've used wider tape on the bottom of this one, and usually for me, I just want to make sure that it's really secure and that nothing really does fall out of my bottom. I will never stop saying it. Okay, first one, glue. Oh, that's not good. Don't want too much glue. I know, that's unusual for me to say. And because these aren't straight to page, they have got the little flaps on the edges, I don't have to worry about decorating my page first. Now, as you can see, I've glued this slightly up from the bottom. It's because this is going to be quite bulky anyway, and this has got tape on the bottom as well. Okay, that is good tape, that red line tape. And so when it sticks here, I don't want it to be too bulky, and it will look neater when you look at it from the bottom. So I've stuck it about 1/4 inch maybe, and obviously much thinner tape on the bottom of this one, as it's a much smaller pocket. And let's put this down to the centered bottom, and up and up and up. Okay, so when this goes down here, I'll decorate this side. This is the waterfall pocket, which I will be putting some seam binding at the bottom. Remember I said I was ironing seam binding? This is some of the seam binding, and I actually got this from my local craft place, which is Pickworth Farm. As you can see, 5 metres for 50p. Don't mind that really, do you? Well, I don't. So you've got your pocket, you've got your waterfall here, you've got a little space here at the back here. This goes forward, like so. Oh, that's a bit tight to the edge, isn't it? and that closes it that way. There we go. And you've got your little straight to page pocket here, and your little spinny bit here. And don't forget Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking. That, when it's decorated, will be the first page all done, and yeah, I think that's going to be okay. So that's got to be stuck down. So that's page 1, and I'm not going to carry on and do any more because I think that's quite enough for today. And next I'll be going on to, obviously, page 2 over here, and be thankful there are only 4 signatures to do on here. So I muddled through it, but I got there in the end. Until next time, everyone, thank you for watching. Bye for now.